Have you ever set goals, or when you set goals, how often do you measure your progress towards those goals? And if not, how do you know if you're getting closer to achieving them? We'll discuss measuring progress, what that means, and more on this episode of today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. You seem to be frozen, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's me, but I think it's you.
Am I?
Either way,
Uh-oh.
I can hear you, though. So
Just good.
are you there, Bob?
I'm here.
Well, I'm going to get talking since
Uh-oh.
Bob seems to be a little bit on the slow side at the moment, so hopefully he will come back to us shortly. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. As you can see, Bob is on site. Looks like he's about to go play some golf, so good for him. But we will have a conversation around a topic each week, as we do, as we have done for over 600 episodes. And as we have that discussion, this week's discussion is about measuring progress. And as we talk through that, if you have thoughts or ideas that you'd like to share, please feel free to put them in the comments, because we know it'll add value not only to the show, also to someone who might be listening, who might be looking for that exact thing today that'll help them take their next step along their own unique pathway to success. And then when the show is over, Bob and I will each offer our one thing, our today's antidote, the one thing that'll hopefully help you move forward, maybe today, maybe somewhere else down the line, as you try to make progress towards your level of success, whatever that might be for you. And I think we have Bob back because I see his eyes moving in the background. We will start with our celebrations as we do every day. So, Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I'm celebrating that I get to play golf today.
It's a good celebration.
Yes, indeed.
Anything else you want to share about that, or is that it? Just that you're playing golf?
I'm not celebrating the fact that this internet connection is lousy. It was fine until recently, and I apologize.
Okay. Well, we're talking about celebrations, not celebrations. So why don't we focus back on your golf game? And it looks like you're going to have a nice day, maybe a few showers in the afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's going to rain shortly.
Okay. Hopefully you have some rain gear. Anyhow, my celebration today is that for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I think 3 weeks, our middle daughter has been home. And so it has been it's been fun to have her home, even though we've all had a little bit of illness throughout that time. It's been great to see her. She lives in Connecticut, and so we don't always get to see her. So it was nice to spend time, and we actually had a little board game last night, a little family fun. So that was enjoyable. Of course, Liz won, like she always seems to, even though she doesn't seem to ever feel like she knows the rules or how to play the game. She somehow ends up winning. So I'm celebrating the fact that we were able to spend time with our daughter.
Nice.
Yes, indeed. All right. It seems like you're having some issues. So we're going to move right forward, move along. So this week's topic, Bob, is measure. We just lost Bob. This week's topic is measuring progress. So I'll get started until he rejoins us. And I think, it's one of those things that, as I mentioned, anytime you have a goal, I find that it helps to find some points to figure out how close are you getting to that goal? How much progress are you making? because I think it allows you to better understand what is going on within each of the steps that it takes. Because we know that whenever you are trying to achieve something, it takes a number of steps to get there. That it doesn't just happen, that you have to take one step after another to get to a goal that you're trying to achieve. And I think that one of the challenges is that progress usually doesn't make, and we'll talk more about the challenges of measuring progress later in the week, is that you don't always make the progress that you want as quickly as you would like to. And so what we want to do today, though, is talk a little bit more about what does it mean to measure progress. And my belief is that you have a certain knowledge, experience, and perspective. And by setting a goal, excuse me, you're trying to improve that. You're trying to do something different with it. You're trying to use that knowledge, experience, and perspective to either grow it or to leverage it to achieve something else. And typically, if we have a goal, that means that we don't have all the knowledge, experience, and perspective that we need, and we need to gain more of that, or we need to leverage it differently. And so really measuring progress is seeing, like, okay, where am I at based on where I want to be? And what's still left to do to help me get there? That those become the biggest challenges, is how do we figure out how close we are? Because oftentimes it is not what we may appear to be. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the week. And so when we think about what it means, there's a lot that goes into what it means to measure progress. What it doesn't mean is that we're going to judge what we've done. We're going to evaluate it. We're going to see where we have gained and where we have not made the gains. Not in an A to criticize either ourselves or someone else. More in an effort to better understand so that we can then figure out where to go from here. Because oftentimes when I've been trying to achieve goals, it's not a straight line. And you make some progress, and then maybe you have a few setbacks, and then you make some progress, and then you don't. And so trying to understand how close are you getting, and are the steps that you are taking working to achieve that goal? Because there have been times that I have tried to achieve a goal, and about 6 or 8 or 10 steps in, I'm realizing I'm not seeing the progress that I thought I was going to have. And now I'm trying to understand why. And again, if we go back to our 3 questions of what has gone well, what hasn't gone as planned, and what might we do differently, we have a chance then to adjust and move forward. Because things change. You know, it's not like when you started, you said, this is the goal that I'm setting. Okay. And all the situations and circumstances surrounding you stay exactly the same until you achieve that goal. They change. And when things change, you have to find a way to adapt and adjust. And so sometimes those goals that we set, as we are looking at them and measuring our progress towards them, things around us change. And now we have to re-look at what the goals are and what we might need to do differently based on the new knowledge, experience, and perspective that we have gained. And so that's one of the values I find in measuring progress, and why we'll talk more about that tomorrow, why it matters. And what it means is just so I'm going to try to wrap this up because Bob doesn't seem to be coming back. So I'm just going to share my one thing. And I welcome again anyone else's thoughts and ideas around it, is that when we measure progress, what it means is to better understand how we are moving closer and closer towards what it is we're trying to achieve. And it allows us to understand not only how has what we have done worked or not worked, so that we can then potentially adjust. You know, if you are trying to achieve a goal, let's say you're trying to sell 100 widgets. And at some point you look at, okay, well, what have we done? And a little bit of time has gone by and you say, well, I've only sold 2. Now, it may just mean that all the work that you have done hasn't gained traction yet, and that it could explode at any day. And so you keep going in the same direction. Or you can say, maybe my messaging isn't hitting the way I thought it would. Maybe I'm not sharing it in the right places. So that this allows you to really consider what has gone on and what do I need to do to help myself achieve the goal. What I realized is I was trying to lose weight at one point, and I had set a goal for where I wanted to get. And the first steps I was taking was exercising. And while that exercise drove me, and I was measuring it week by week by week, I wasn't yet where I wanted to be. And so I felt like I needed to change. And I'm not sure if I hadn't measured that progress and I chose to do it once a week, the exact same time or around the exact same time every week, then I could see what was the progress that I was making. And I could also see that there might be things I could do differently, because I was thinking that it might take longer and longer. And are there other things I could do that might help speed up what I wanted to achieve? And I think if we never stop to measure the progress that we make, one, how do we know if it's working? And two, how do we know if we need to modify what we are doing in an effort to achieve those goals in the time that we thought we were going to achieve them? And so I think as you think about any goal that you've set, measuring that progress is going to help you achieve it and help you figure out how to get closer and closer to it, given a better understanding of what you have done and some ideas and thoughts around how you might be able to do it differently. So that's my one thing around measuring progress and what it means. If you have one thing you'd like to share, please feel free to do it in the comments below, whether you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn Live, as Bob would say if he were here. And I would say, yes, LinkedIn Live, because we welcome those thoughts and ideas, and we'll go back and take a look at them, and it will help us as we look to our next episode. And if you happen to be listening to the podcast, you might be wondering what happened to Bob. Well, Bob somehow his internet wasn't working on location. And so I just moved forward. And then that if you're listening to the podcast, there's nowhere to share your thoughts and ideas. And so we will be talking about measuring progress all week inside our Ring of Renegades Facebook group. So you can go there and share your thoughts and ideas with it. And today is Marketing Monday. So if you have something that you want to promote to that group, today is the day. Just find that post and you can share what you have going on, because it might be the exact thing that someone else is looking for that'll help them take their next step along their own unique pathway to success. So we look forward to seeing you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. If not, we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully Bob will be back with us, 7 a.m. Eastern time, for our next edition of Today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone. We will see you soon. And as Bob would say, and go out and embrace the renegade in you. And hopefully enjoy the day like he's going to do, I think, on the golf course. Although I imagine right now he's a little frustrated. And so I hope that doesn't impact his golf game. Anyhow, enjoy the day. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to Today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.